Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for being here as always, and I apologize for the quick and dirty video. I don't have time to charge my camera, and I need to be at work in about hour and a half, or I need to leave for work in about an hour and a half, and I still need to edit, render, and then begin the upload for this video before I leave for work. So this is going to be a very quick and dirty video, so I apologize for the production quality. But I wanted to get this video up to you guys as fast as possible because, well, Collider.com, you probably know them here on YouTube if you're in the Star Wars space from Collider Jedi Council. They're a very reputable news media site, and they have released a new video or a new article, exclusive, future a Star Wars story spin-offs on hold at Lucasfilm. They've got a whole video and everything. I'll link to both the article and the video down in the description down below if you want to check that out. But anyways, effectively, the quick cliff notes of this is that the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie that has been all but confirmed. The Boba Fett movie that is also all but confirmed is now no longer all but confirmed. They are basically ceasing production, or rather, they're putting onto hiatus the pre-production of these films. It's a weird feeling to have. I'm not sure where I stand on it, to be honest with you. With that being said, they do go on further. Collider goes on further, saying that Lucasfilm is basically refocusing all of their manpower, all of their resources towards the new trilogy after Episode 9. They're concentrating completely on Episode 9 and the trilogy that comes after Episode 9. And at least according to Collider in their video on this subject, the rumors that they're getting is that that new trilogy is the Rian Johnson trilogy. So they're basically, so in effect, Lucasfilm is kind of at least putting on indefinite hiatus the Obi-Wan Kenobi Star Wars story and the Boba Fett Star Wars story. Now, the main reason for this is probably Solo's disappointing box office numbers. Whether or not you want to say it or not, I mean, they're probably going to make their money back after all the marketing and all the, you know, putting it up on stars and stuff in a year or whatever. They're going to make their money back on Solo, but that's about it. They're not going to have a massive, huge box office numbers like what they were expecting. They were probably expecting more around $500 million or $750 million at the box office, as opposed to maybe getting close-ish to $500 million. And, well, there's a lot of reasons for that discrepancy in between their predictions and our predictions as well, and the actual numbers of Solo. Number one, I do think that there's a problem with playing on nostalgia and going back and doing older movies, or rather movies that center around older characters like Obi-Wan or Solo or Boba Fett or even Darth Maul, or any of these other things. Is that a lot of people, somebody just messaged me, a lot of people want these movies. I would love a Darth Maul movie. I would really love an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. But I'm also the weird guy that's got 1.5 billion Funko Pops and a Star Wars wallet and, you know, all these things behind me here and that poster, and I've got a ton of posters and stuff up against the walls here. You know, I'm the crazy guy. I'm the crazy guy that'll go and see anything Star Wars. And from my talks with friends and stuff, coworkers, family members, whatever, they weren't too interested in Solo because they're like, didn't he just die like in the last one or the one before it or whatever? They don't really, they're not that engaged in it because Solo is a legacy character for us, sure, but Solo's not a legacy character for the general population. It'd be kind of like, say that you're kind of a relatively casual or less involved Harry Potter fan, and I mean, you can see this happening right now. The Fantastic Beasts movies. Are you really interested in going to see those, or are you just going to catch it on Netflix or maybe rent it on Google Play or something? That's the problem that these Star Wars stories have, like, inherently. But anyways, another reason for Solo's missteps, at least to me, is, yeah, Last Jedi Backlash. A good portion of the fan base was... burned out by TLJ. I know a lot of very dedicated fans, people who are as dedicated as I am, they just decided, I'm not too crazy about going to see Solo. I'm taking a break from Star Wars for a while. Hey, that's fine. They're not wrong to do that. And I don't think that the boycott Solo people had anything really to do with the box office numbers. You know, you count out the subscribers on those channels and whatever. I don't want to start any drama or anything, but the bottom line is that even if you add up all the subscribers for all the boycott Solo channels and boycott Solo news article sites and stuff, and like the Twitter followers and stuff, even if like every single one of them actually boycotted it, I think it averages out to like or like $750,000, and Solo's made like $300 and something million as of now. So sorry, doesn't mean too much. Anyways, I think that the biggest reason for Solo's failure, less than stellar performance at the box office, is primarily because of marketing. It's a marketing issue. It's not necessarily a creative issue. Had they really punched home that, you know, this is a Solo origin movie, you know, the greatest, like, I don't think that it would have hurt the fan base, and it would have felt a little weird to us, but I think it would have been more important to do something like at the beginning of for the first 15 seconds of the first teaser, like have like even the greatest smuggler in the galaxy needed to start somewhere or something like that. Like really sell to the people that don't watch YouTube videos dedicated to Star Wars that this is a Solo movie. This is a movie about Han frickin' Solo's origin story. Had they really pushed that, it would have been great. But I think that Disney, yes, the people that handle most of the marketing for Star Wars movies, kind of just leaned into, it's got Star Wars in its name, it'll be fine. And, well, they baked their cake and it wasn't too good. Now, with that being said, I think that Lucasfilm is having to react to what Disney is doing. Disney, this is the downside to Star Wars being owned by Disney, or rather Lucasfilm being owned by Disney, or whatever. The evil Mickey Mouse empire is, there is a problem with them owning Star Wars, and that's that I don't think that Disney's taking responsibility for their marketing actions regarding Solo. There's no reason why Solo shouldn't have been pushed to December, where it didn't have nearly as much competition. There's no reason why you shouldn't have pushed it to December, where you're going to be able to run more than 100 days worth of advertisement for it. The advertisement for it that you did roll out didn't really work out really well. I'm sorry. I know I'm just some, punk kid on YouTube, shouting up at the monolith that is the Disney Corporation, but I think that that's really the reason for that to happen. I think that Disney's at fault for Solo's failure. And yeah, at least at the box office. I mean, sure, the over budgeting thing, that is something that lands on Kathleen Kennedy and Lord and Miller and the people behind the scenes at Lucasfilm that caused the film to go, what, $120 million over budget? That's a problem. Anyways, we're getting away from the actual reason for me to record this video, and that is the fact that the Obi-Wan movie and the Boba Fett movie are canceled. Quote unquote canceled. This is the reason why they don't come out and just announce absolutely every single project that they've got running, because then this is just going to be a big talking point for us in the Star Wars fan community, but the rest of the world isn't going to see this. And more importantly, their investors probably aren't going to be too crazy about it either. Anyways, about the Solo and Boba Fett, or the Obi-Wan and the Boba Fett movie. The bottom line is that I think that they could have been financial bonuses. Like, I'm sorry, I think that the Obi-Wan movie could get away with a shoestring budget, in Disney terms, a shoestring budget of maybe $75 million. You could have gotten away with that because you're not going to need any big epic space battles or big epic, whatever. You're going to need some really crazy cool special effects and stuff, but you're not going to need to have the entirety. You're not going to need to bring the brunt of the entirety of ILM to just blast away at this movie for, 6 months or whatever. Even the Boba Fett movie, same thing. I mean, you're not going to need to bring the brunt of this massive special effects ecosystem. You're going to need to use the creatures and the set designers and the, whatever, but you can get away without having to, have massive, huge, sweeping vistas. Like, how much money did the Kessel Run cost to make in Solo? You know what I mean? And so, yeah, this is disappointing that Disney isn't willing to just give them a little bit of a tighter budget, and then they would make it more of a personal story about Obi-Wan. With that being said, I'm not going to talk too much about the Boba Fett movie because I don't really care about Boba Fett. Just as a fan, it just doesn't interest me. Now, with that being said, had the stakes been turned, I feel like you've got the people that are really excited for the Star Wars story films, which are now on hiatus, and then you've got people like me who are really hyped up for Rian Johnson's trilogy. I understand. I've been going through a weird place in my fandom the last couple of weeks. I haven't been super fired up about it. I've been kind of reserved in it. I've just been sitting back, relaxing, watching the Clone Wars, watching The Last Jedi, watching The Force Awakens, watching A New Hope, watching Phantom Menace. I've been very insular as a fan, and I don't really want to put a lot of extra thought into it. And that's in part because I was worried that the Rian Johnson trilogy was going to go away because of the box office numbers for Solo. I was worried about that. I was really worried about that, and that's the last thing that I want because I want my Rian Johnson trilogy so bad. I really like The Last Jedi. You're allowed to not like it, and I totally empathize with you because I've been bracing for this news that you guys are receiving as fans of the Star Wars stories. I've been bracing for this news for 3 or 4 weeks now. And that's one thing that they did mention in the Collider thing is that they're refocusing into the Rian Johnson trilogy. They can't be working on the David and the Dan and Dave stuff. They can't be working on that yet because Dan and Dave are still elbow deep into post-production for Game of Thrones. So I'm willing to bet that Dan and Dave haven't even started looking at their Star Wars stuff. They may have got some, they may have some notepads and stuff on their iPads, saved, but that's about it. So if they're refocusing on anything, it's got to be that Rian Johnson trilogy. At least that's the conclusion that Collider came to in their video and their article. And I'm excited about that because I want my Rian Johnson trilogy. That's what I'm interested in. I don't know. This is a crazy, ridiculously overly rambly video, but I don't know. It sucks because I want more Star Wars. I really do. And I really want my Obi-Wan film. As much as I want my Rian Johnson trilogy, I want my Obi-Wan film too. I want those about, I wouldn't say quite equally, but, like if the Rian Johnson trilogy is here, my Obi-Wan movie is here. And the Boba Fett movie is like way down here. You know what I mean? And I want my Obi-Wan movie really, 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 really bad because I'm a prequel fanboy. The prequels were my Star Wars. And I don't know. I'm grumpy that we're not going to get it now, especially the Obi-Wan movie. And I'm really grumpy that I think that the reason why it's happening is because Disney screwed up. And now Disney isn't going to foot the bill for the Obi-Wan movie. So Lucasfilm is kind of having to react to that. Now, with that said, I trust Lucasfilm. Whatever you think about Kathleen Kennedy or Pablo Hidalgo or whatever, or Carrie Hart or Dave Filoni or, all those high rollers at Lucasfilm, whatever you think about them, I trust in their leadership because every single movie has been liked by the majority of the fandom. As much as The Last Jedi is contentious, that's on Ryan. That's on Rian Johnson. Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy greenlit it, but she didn't really put anything into it. She didn't have a whole ton of input into the creative process of that movie. So that's on Ryan. She just greenlit it. And like I said, I'm sorry, but yes, a vast portion of you may have disliked TLJ, but a majority of Star Wars fans enjoyed it. I mean, even look at it on YouTube and stuff. Like I own The Last Jedi on YouTube, and yeah, there's a lot of dislikes on there, but there's more likes than there are dislikes, where you can't spot the votes, like on Rotten Tomatoes. Just saying. Wow, this video is going absolutely all over the place. I apologize, because I wish if I had the time to actually like write up an outline and stuff, but I gotta get to work. I gotta get this video edited. Long story short, conclusion time. It sucks. It sucks that there's gonna be less Star Wars because Disney screwed up. But I trust Lucasfilm to give us amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. And continue to give us amazing stuff. We shall see. I'm still hyped for Resistance. I'm still hyped for Rian Johnson's trilogy. I'm still hopeful that the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie does kind of swell. It does have a groundswell in, say, 5 or 6 years. I'm hoping for that. We will see what they end up doing, though. And I gotta get out of here. I'm already going way over for my recording time. Thank you guys, as always, for your time and your patience with my ramblings. And I will see you guys in the next video. As always, may the Force be with you guys. Take care.